Greetings, my friends. It's your boy, B Freezy, back up in this piece, popping like fish grease, y'all. Coming back with another video on the day. We got to get into the pre-fight breakdown matchup of the upcoming Keith Thurman, Tszyu fight coming up March 30th from T-Moble Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, y'all, for Tszyu's WBO junior middleweight belt. Now, this is going to be a great fight. And before we get into the video, I need you guys to please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Trying to grow this channel from the ground up. So your like, your subscription, and if you think it's a good video, share it, will go a long way. So back into the video, y'all. Tszyu, Keith Thurman, March 30th, T-Moble Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. And this is going to be a very good fight. Some people were saying it wasn't that great a fight for PBC's, first fight on Amazon. But I think it's a very good matchup, and I'm looking forward to see it. You got Keith Thurman, right, coming at 35 years old with a record of 30 wins, 1 loss, with 22 of those 30 victories by knockout. Okay? And you got Tszyu, right, 29 years old, 24-0. with 17 of his 24 wins coming by knockout, okay? So if we break down the measurables, Keith Thurman standing at 5'8.5" with Keith Thurman is 5'9.5", okay? With a 69-inch arm reach. And you got Tszyu coming in at 5'8.5" with a 70.5-inch arm reach, right? So Tszyu is going to be giving up an inch in height, but he will have a 1.5 inch advantage in reach. I don't really know if that's going to make a difference, but this is going to be a very interesting fight for a lot of reasons. A lot of people aren't giving Keith Thurman a chance at all. I don't understand why. Keith Thurman is a very skilled, very experienced, and he's a very talented boxer. I'm just completely objective at what I'm doing. But you got a lot of people that seems like they love to hate Keith Thurman, right? And then you got Tszyu. I'm a believer in Tszyu. I think he's a young star, and I think, fights like this are going to give him his opportunity to, to show what he can do against the top names in the game. So this fight for Tszyu is a definite step-up match. Again, like I said, I am a believer. A lot of people say, oh, he only fights in Australia. He hadn't really fought anybody. I'm a believer. His last few fights, he's looked great. Tony Harrison is a fighter that I like a lot, and he's a very good junior middleweight. I mean, he beat Jermell Charlo, had 2 really good fights with Jermell Charlo. The second fight against Jermell Charlo, when he got knocked out, he was actually boxing the brakes off Jermell Charlo, and he did some of the most beautiful boxing I've seen. But he got a little too careless, got a little too comfortable because he was doing so well, and when you get comfortable with a dangerous, explosive guy, you'll pay for it. And that's ultimately what Jermell did. But the point is, Tony Harrison was a former junior middleweight champ. He beat the man who was the man. And I don't think he was too far off of where he was at during those Charlo fights. And Tszyu really handled him and beat the brakes off of him. It kind of got ugly at the end. Like I said, I'm a believer in Tszyu for sure. And, he seems like a really nice guy out of the ring, very mannerable, very courteous. But you can see once he gets in that ring, he's got a switch. And when he switches that switch on in the ring, the dude's an animal. He's a beast. So with that being said, I just wanted to go on record and say I'm a believer in Tszyu. A lot of people, still like to dismiss him. The dude's legit, in my opinion. And he'll get his opportunity to show it against Keith Thurman. Now we jump to Keith Thurman. A lot of people love to hate Keith Thurman. I've always liked Keith Thurman. I appreciate him. He's got great skills. He's very talented. But what concerns me in this matchup is Keith Thurman is now 35 years old, and he's been very inactive. For example, this will be Keith Thurman's 3rd fight in 5 years. Okay? That's a lot of inactivity as you age. It's a double-edged sword. It could be that he hasn't been getting beat up either. He hasn't suffered a lot of punishment, a lot of damage. He could be fresh. But again, we know as a 35-year-old athlete in any sport, you can get old overnight. In a sport like boxing, the only way to get better, I mean, you can train, you can spar and all that, but the only way to really get better and gain that experience is fighting. There's no substitute for fighting. Just like in football, you can practice, you can train, but there's no substitute for game day, for playing in that game. When the lights are on, the adrenaline's pumping, and you're just on a whole nother level mentally and physically because you're amped, because it's fight night, it's game day. So it is a difference. But that concerns me. Because Keith Thurman has been very inactive. Like I said, this will be his third fight in 5 years. Where you look at Tszyu, this will be his fourth fight in a year. So he's crazy active. He's staying busy. And that's all the things you want to see out of a young fighter that's still looking to prove himself. Even though he is gaining the accolades and the attention and the respect of the boxing community. But Keith Thurman, that concerns me. And then two, again, he's 35. We know Keith Thurman can move, he can box, he's very mobile. But will his legs hold up all night long? Can he still move like he's going to need to move against a bigger, younger, mean, nasty dude? Like, let's just be real, man. Like I said, Tszyu seems like a nice guy out of the ring, but if you watch his fights, man, and he's coming to inflict punishment. You know what I mean? And after the fights, he's still charging hype. So you can see what type of competitor he is. He's not coming to play around. He might let you talk and all of that, but he's not coming to play around. So again, back to Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, extremely talented, a lot of skills, great movement. And this will be a step up for Tszyu. Tszyu has never seen a fighter with the level of talent and ability and ring IQ and experience as Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is a two-time welterweight champion, former unified welterweight champion for years. He beat all the names in the big names in the welterweight division at the time when he had the belts. I mean, he never fought Terrence Crawford, so he didn't beat him. He wouldn't give Spence a fight, but he did beat, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, and those are some pretty legit former world champions that are, elite fighters. So this will be a step up for Tszyu. This will be a step up for Tszyu. This is really funny. But I just think it's going to be, as much as I like Keith Thurman's talent and ability, I think he's a little too old at this point. And not even that. Really, Keith Thurman, and his other issue is Keith Thurman has issues handling body shots. If we just go back, you look at his fights, Keith Thurman's come off long layoffs before and looked brilliant. He had a 2-year layoff before he came back and fought Tszyu Lopez in 2019. And he looked great until he got caught in like the 9th round or something like that. And he got hurt bad. Maybe it was the middle round, something like that. 8th, 9th round. He was looking brilliant and got caught and got hurt. And he had to hop on the bicycle for a couple rounds because Tszyu was on him. And dropped some bombs on him and caught him and really had Keith Thurman hurt. He was looking flawless until he got hurt. He managed to survive, showed a ton of heart because he was out on his feet. We can't say Keith Thurman does have heart. He showed it. He does have a chin. He showed it because Tszyu Lopez tested that chin. Keith Thurman somehow did not get dropped and was able to keep moving, stay alive, and regain control of that fight. And he dominated the fight except for the 2 rounds where he was really in trouble and almost got took up out of there, okay? So then Keith Thurman fights Manny Pacquiao after that, loses that fight, right? He lost to a legend, Hall of Famer. Okay, that's his only one loss. 2-year layoff there. Then he comes out against Mario Barrios. Maybe last year, I think it was, about a year ago, or a little bit before that. Comes out against Mario Barrios and is dominating the fight, boxing beautifully again, just beautifully. And then Barrios catches him with a body shot and the whole momentum changes. Like Keith Thurman was literally like hurt, running for his life damn near, off of one body shot that turned the tide. Again, for a round or two, a round and a half, Keith Thurman, he recovered, regained his faculties, and commenced the beating on Mario Barrios, again, like a stepchild. He was flawless, except for when he got hurt and was in trouble. I don't think he's going to be able to get hurt against Tszyu and survive. If he gets hurt against Tszyu, he's out of there. And that's what concerns me about this fight for Keith Thurman, right? If Keith Thurman didn't have a track record and a propensity to get hurt by body shots, then I would say, I would give him of course he still has a chance, but I would say it's a 50-50 fight if that was the case. But that's not the case, and that is a big if. And think about it. If I know Keith Thurman doesn't like body shots and gets hurt to the body, and you know Keith Thurman doesn't like body shots and gets hurt to the body, you damn sure know Tszyu and his team know that Keith Thurman is susceptible to being hurt badly by body shots. And you can bet your bottom dollar that's what Tszyu is coming to do. He's going to put on the pressure. He's going to be relentless. And he's going to go to the body. He's going to go to the body. You can guarantee it. Look to hurt Thurman and put some bombs on him. And that's what it's going to be. And that's the reason I got to go with Tszyu on this one. As much as I like Thurman, I like Tszyu too. I respect him. I'm just being completely objective. I don't see how a 35-year-old inactive Keith Thurman is going to survive the pressure from the bigger, stronger, younger, talented man. Because Tszyu, in my opinion, doesn't have the pure boxing ability of a Keith Thurman, but he does have boxing skills, and he's very talented. And on top of being a talented, skilled fighter, he's young, he's strong, and he's explosive. And in that ring, he's mean. So skills pay the bills, but Tszyu has skills too. And he's young and explosive, and he's talented. So I just can't see Keith Thurman. I mean, it's possible. But just with the track record, I got to go with Tszyu on this one. As much as I like Keith Thurman, as much as I respect Keith Thurman, he's fighting a bigger, stronger, younger, explosive guy who's talented, who's hungry. And Keith Thurman's moving up to 154. I think the inactivity, the susceptibility to body shots, the moving up in weight is going to be too much for Keith Thurman to conquer, even though he is extremely talented. I just think his propensity to get hurt to the body is going to catch up to him in this fight, and he won't be able to recover from Tszyu. So I love this fight. It's going to be very interesting. I will be watching it. I suggest you guys watch it. If I got to take a pick, I think I'm definitely going to be leaning with Tszyu. Much respect to Keith Thurman. He was a great champ. I'm not a Keith Thurman hater, although a lot of people are. I like the guy, but I think this one is just a tall order against a really tough dude. And I don't think Tszyu is like hype. A lot of people say, oh, he hasn't fought anybody. He only fights people in Australia. No, Tszyu is a real deal. He showed it. And this fight against Keith Thurman will give him an opportunity to continue to show it. So, again, March 30th, T-Moble Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada is going down. Tszyu, Keith Thurman. Let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to win and why? Please don't forget, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know who you think is going to win this fight. That's all I got on this one, y'all. I'll be back with another one real soon. Thanks again for tapping in. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and get a video a share, and drop your comment. Let me know who you got in this fight coming up. All right. Thanks for tapping in, y'all. Your boy B Freezy. Holla at you.